Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Wednesday, the 13th of August, 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai, all your posts put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. We've got this article from Cointelegraph saying strategy adds 18 million in Gridcoin on 5th anniversary of BTC strategy. Michael Saylor's strategy added another $18 million in Gridcoin last week to mark the 5th anniversary of its BTC buying strategy, bringing its total holdings to 628,946 Gridcoin. Oh, that is painful. Another article here from Cointelegraph saying Metaplanet, Smarter Web and almost 100 million in Gridcoin to treasuries. So I just thought, they had Metaplanet there. See what's going on with that shit. CoinGeek have got an article here saying Tether faces a choice, comply or die. Oof. And also looks like an article here from, is that Kurt on there, saying Bitcoin fixes the VPN problem. Oh, excellent. So yeah, quite looking forward to doing that. We'll have a quick look at the figures and check this out. So the market cap of the cryptocurrency market has just surpassed $4 trillion. And looking at the M1 money stock, which is the circulating supply of world reserve currency, in 2020 that alone was $4 trillion. The circulating supply of M1 money stock was just $4 trillion. And now look at it, it's like what, gone up, it's $18 trillion. But just back in 2020, the circulating supply was just $4 trillion. And now the cryptocurrency market has actually surpassed that. That is nuts. This sort of goes to show you the size of the bubble that we're actually living in. That is crazy. And bear in mind this chart here, this little blip here that we're looking at, are the billions of dollars in the 2008 financial crisis that everybody was losing their shit over. You can hardly even see it now. It's literally a blip on the landscape. We've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then we'll wrap up with the Kellen Schweller countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. So strategy adds 18 million in Gridcoin on 5th anniversary of its BTC strategy. Well, so they're saying that they started that on the 11th of August 2020. Is that when it was? Good grief, like time flies when you're having fun. So they've now got 628,946 Gridcoin. That is going to hurt. That is going to hurt. So Michael Saylor's strategy, the world's largest public holder of Gridcoin, made its first Gridcoin purchase in August, marking 5 years since adopting Gridcoin as a treasury asset. And again, so this is 2020. So this was after all the shenanigans in 2017 when the central banks and the deep state subverted the BTC ticker away from the Bitcoin protocol. So there's just, he's buying Gridcoin. He has no idea about what's happened in the past. Strategy acquired 150 Gridcoin for $18 million during the week ending Sunday, according to the US Securities and Exchange Commission filing on Monday. Strategy's new Gridcoin purchases were made at an average price of $116,000 per coin, with Gridcoin starting the week at $114,000 and nearing all-time highs around $122,000 by Sunday, according to CoinGecko. Not interested in that at all. The acquisition increased Strategy's Gridcoin holdings to 628,000, purchased for around $46.1 billion at an average price of 73,228 per coin. Strategy bought its first BTC on August 11th, 2020. Strategy's latest Gridcoin acquisition coincides with the 5th anniversary of its BTC Treasury strategy, launching on August 11th, 2020 with a $250 million buy of 21,454 BTC. Since Strategy's first Gridcoin purchase, the price of Gridcoin has surged 960%, from around $11,400 to around $120,000 at the time of writing, giving massive returns on the investment. So again, this is dollar worshipping. It's literally just dollar worshipping is all they're looking at. They're not looking under the bonnet at the fundamental figures. They're literally buying a speculative piece of crap that is being pumped by the central banks, central bank and the cabal that are now in bed with Tether, manipulating the market. It's outrageous. Oh, honestly, I cannot be bothered, like, reading the rest of that shite. But, you know what's going on. Check this one out. So Cointelegraph says Metaplanet, smarter web, and almost $100 million in Grapecoin to treasuries. So let's see what this is. Metaplanet in the UK and the UK's the smarter web company added nearly $100 million in Grapecoin on Tuesday, boosting their position amongst the largest public corporate BTC holders. Two publicly listed companies, Japan's Metaplanet and the United Kingdom's the Smart Web Company, I've not heard of them, the Smart Web Company, added almost $100 million worth of Grapecoin to their corporate treasuries. Again, I mean, they're just pumping this corporate treasury shit in the same way that they were just pumping prices. Now it's like, oh, it's corporate treasuries. Oh, it's a Bitcoin treasury reserve. A treasury reserve company. Oh, my God. On Tuesday, Metaplanet disclosed that it had purchased 518 Grapecoin for around 61.4 million. 518 Grapecoin. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I wonder how much 518 genuine Bitcoin would cost you. Certainly not $61.4 million. That's hilarious. An average price of $118,000 per coin. The buy lifted the Tokyo listed company's total holdings to 18,000 BTC, worth $2.15 billion at current market prices, and acquired an average price of $101,000 per Grapecoin. Oh, who cares? What's this all about? The Smart Web Company, a London-listed web-based design and a Bitcoin treasury firm, give me a break, also revealed on Tuesday that it acquired 295 Grapecoin for £26.3 million at an average cost of $119,000. The purchase was funded in part by a $10.2 million equity raise completed on Monday. As reported, the Smart Web Company also raised $21 million through a Grapecoin-denominated bond offering last week. I was, what is this Smart Web Company? What a load of shite! That sounds like another effing scam to me. Oh, right. I'll find out who they are. Maybe do another show on it. What's this? SEC to focus on clear crypto regulations after Ripple case. Give me a break. They haven't got a clue what these things are. Not a clue. Oh, push for a Clarity Act. Well, how are they going to look? They don't even know the difference between commodities and securities, let alone a digital commodity and a digital security. Oh, anyway, this is the Clarities Act is all about. They're calling it a mature blockchain. Honestly, the amount of bullshit that they come out with. A mature blockchain. What the fuck is a mature blockchain? It's either a commoditized blockchain or it's a securitized blockchain. That is it. So this is just more hocus pocus mumbo jumbo. Disinformation going into the market about what Bitcoin is, trying to distract people away from the genuine Bitcoin and the original protocol that actually commoditizes data. That's literally all they're doing. It's utter bullshit. So, let's get on to some decent news here. So, CoinGeek says that Tether faces a choice, comply or die. Oh, this sounds a bit serious. Last month, United States President Donald Trump signed the Genius Act into law. While many welcomed it as a much-needed regulatory clarity, the act forces Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer by market cap, to make a choice. It has avoided for a decade now: comply with financial regulations or leave the US market. Let's explore what the Genius Act requires and what it means for stablecoin issuers like Circle and Tether. What the Genius Act requires: the Genius Act creates a licensing regime for permitted payment stablecoin issuers. It allows a 3-year window during which issuers must comply with the conditions laid out in the Act or leave the US market. Conditions include holding one-to-one reserves in high-quality liquid assets. Oh, no wonder Tether doesn't want to comply with that one, because they make that shit up. Monthly public reserve disclosures. Oh, they're not going to like that one either. Custody standards prohibiting the commingling of funds. Oh, they're definitely not going to like that. Sam Bankman-Fried would have shit the bed out over that one. Compliance with AML, KYC, CTF and sanction rules, and bank-style supervision, reporting and enforcement. And that's just scratching the surface. Essentially, stablecoin issuers are now financial institutions subject to the Bank Secrecy Act and must abide by all of the same rules as entities like JP Morgan or Bank of America. Issuers like Circle or Gemini, which have always attempted to comply with regulations, should be able to adapt. However, the new rules will cause significant problems for Tether. The world's largest stablecoin issuers has a checkered history involving links to convicted money launderers, fines and banks from New York, and a repeated refusal to submit a full audit and prove its reserves. Can Tether survive the Genius Act? Tether, as an entity, can likely survive the Genius Act, but whether it will be able to operate in the US and other regulated markets is another question. There are 3 possible scenarios for the world's largest stablecoin issuer. Full compliance. Tether could choose to comply with all of the applicable rules and regulations. However, doing so would require a degree of transparency. Tether has been uncomfortable with. The firm has never allowed a full audit and has opted for attestations instead. Geofencing. It could choose to exit the US market and block Americans from using USDT. This amounts to walling off US platforms and accepting liquidity and market fragmentations as a trade-off. Delay and rebrand. Tether could choose to legally challenge decisions, lobby to soften rules, or rebrand. It could also potentially issue through an approved partner if one was willing to take the risk of associating with it. Which will Tether choose? Time will tell, but it recently opted to exit the European Union market rather than comply with markets in crypto assets obligations. Whether or not it will do the same in America depends on the risk-reward ratio. What happens if Tether leaves the United States? The impact on the markets depends on several factors, including whether other issuers can step in on time to prop up trading volume, how exchanges respond, and how orderly Tether exits from the US market is, or how orderly Tether's exit from the market is. Despite not knowing the full facts, there are a few predictable outcomes. For a start, liquidity will fragment, widening spreads between America and international order books. Decentralized finance protocols will rotate out of Tether and seek alternatives, and there will be noticeable disruption to the status quo. Oof. I'm not going to go over all of that, but we know what's going on there because it's a complete scam. What are they going to do? Well, that's anybody's guess. But I mean, it could seriously impact the market. All those people holding Tether or maybe trading in and out of Tether, what are the exchange going to give notice to them? They're just like, by the way, if you're holding Tether, that's no longer going to be a valid form of trading in and out of currency, in a month's time or something like that. Or literally, are they going to do like a BSV delisting style and give customers less than 24 hours? So are those holding millions of dollars worth of Tether? I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But I would say that they're looking to place blame on someone for the market collapse. So Tether just could be another option for them, because anything to prevent the finger of blame pointing back at the deep state in the way of Blockstream and Adam Back and all those scammers. Pretty much. That's what they're looking for. That's what I suspect. Check this one out. So it looks like, by Kurt Wattick Jr. Bitcoin fixes the VPN problem. All right, let's see what this is all about then. A few days ago, a video titled "Exposing the billion-dollar secret VPN companies are hiding" went viral amongst privacy advocates, echoing the concerns I've shared about the technology for many years. In the video, the host showed, with receipts, how Facebook's Onavaro VPN, marketed as a data-saving app, was secretly used to spy on competitors. Engineers working on the project Ghostbusters decrypted Snapchat's traffic to feed usage analytics, and Onavaro even paid teenagers to install the app before public backlash forced it to shut down, according to VPNcentral.com. So what's this supposed to be? Guy Swan says, a reasonable concern, but is this Lightning Network over Coinbase would give a user back a degree of control. Even with centralized services, Lightning Network LN Lightning Network may help 2 problems: gaining some control, independent revocation power, but honest service still use punishment clause and refund user losses their keys. Still sounds similar to VPN being great, except if your exit node is being monitored. The central point of monitoring definitely removes sovereignty or wealth management. Yeah, I have thought of that myself. That part of a much broader pattern. In 2017, an Israeli firm formerly called CrossRider, a company whose ad injection toolkit was once widely used to distribute malware, reinvented itself as a Cape Technologies and began buying up VPN brands. Within 4 years, it had acquired CyberGhost, ZenMate, private internet access for $936 million. So today, 3 of the 6 most popular VPNs are now controlled by Cape, which is ties to Unit 8200, which is Israeli's signals intelligence branch, and it's majority owned. Teddy Sagi has a history of financial crimes and linked to Israeli intelligence. An industry that sells itself as privacy protection is in reality dominated by firms with deep incentives to surveil users. That consolidation matters because an estimated $1.6 billion people rely on VPNs for privacy and censorship resistance. When just a few companies control the pipes, they control the data. As the video argues, this is the same bait and switch that has plagued the broader tech industry products markets as empowering on or private, often severe, primarily to harvest data. Whether it's a social network, a service, a search engine, or VPN, the same actors build the platform, collect the data, and monetize it. Right. How Bitcoin lost its way. How long is this gonna go on for, Kurt? I know the articles are quite long. Oh, I want to get to the conclusion here about how Bitcoin fixes this. I guess it's because what people are gonna be paying to, or you pay to use, which is through Bitcoin. So how Bitcoin lost its way. The same bait and switch has occurred in the world of Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper envisioned a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Yeah, we know all that. Yeah. A token locked in custody. Yeah. A VPN managed by former intelligence agencies can protect your privacy. Rediscovering peer-to-peer finance. The antidote to money problem and the privacy problem lies in BSV blockchain, the network which emerged from the BTC BCH amid the temptation to sell out to big tech, big banks, and big government control of Bitcoin. BSV restores the original protocol, removes arbitrary block size limits, and scales for usage, which solves the problem of banking, finance, payments, and data privacy all on one network. It retains the unspent transaction output model, so each output is a self-contained coin with its own script. Smart contracts live in individual outputs rather than global accounts, meaning a compromised wallet doesn't jeopardize the network, and the failure of one app or wallet means nothing to the secrecy of the system as a whole. Yeah, because it's private. You're just simply using wallet addresses. There's no identity linked to a transaction, and you have a digital signature on there, but the only person who knows who that digital signature belongs to are the 2 people that are transacting with each other. So yeah, that's good. No man in the middle attacks, network-wide takeovers, or surveillance is even possible if you just use the network for everything you need. Fantastic. Yeah, using it for everything. On top of this foundation, developers have built tools that mirror the functionalities misused by Onavaro and Cape without needing trust. First set ordinals and the BSV21 standard let anyone mint tokens as lightweight as Satoshis, and those tokens can be used to encrypt or decrypt data packets on the network, or they can act as DNS records, file server endpoints, auth servers, or even entire websites or robust applications. Yeah, that's a great idea. Tokens live in individual outputs, so financial apps can also use them in conjunction with web and security applications so that any interaction, social or financial, can meet on-chain without relying on a central smart contract or external exchange. Bitcoin Schema.org publishes open schemas in open source repos so applications can embed messages, documents, and credentials into transactions in a standard way. TreeChat.ai shows how a social network can live on-chain with users owning their posts. The SigmalEntity.com and Sigma Auth Anchor identity documents and access to Bitcoin keys without entrusting data to a central platform. Oh, well, that is going to be awesome. Yeah, that is going to be awesome when we can start using that. All right, I need to learn how to build on this thing, and I need to start with bitcoinschema.org. Data definitions for Bitcoin applications. Why Bitcoin Schema? I need to learn how to use this stuff, and so should everybody else. They need to know how to do this. But what a great article there from Kurt. Right, let's have a quick look at the figures because that's 20 minutes gone already. You got transactions here is 50.7, block size 77.8. Any decent blocks coming through? It's just got an 11 megabyte one there, nothing to write home about. It's 56,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. Ooh, mining Bitcoin at just a 16.8% comparable loss. Although it's 18.7% more profitable to mine on Gregcoin over Fisher Price Cash. Much of a muchness on a B crash there. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts because that's where it is. Global hash rate 7 days, 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate, other miners 9.7. B crash, other, oof, look at that. Via BTC 45%, other miners 14.58. Fisher Price Cash, other mining pools 38.19. And again, CoinDance not showing us the figures. Here we go. We'll have to have a look on what's on chain in order to find this. Hopefully that'll come up in just a minute. Oh, there we go. Oh, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 miners on there. Looks like we've got 2 new ones here. So we've got Top Pool. That's one I don't recognise. Oh, Mining Dutch is back in the mix. Haven't seen them for a while. Check it out. I've not seen this. So Kuv 20.28. QD Link 21. Tau 16.6. SA100 15.9. They're going up. A Tau down to 9.85. Whoa. Gorilla Pool being squeezed to 4.55. But we've got Mining Dutch on there at 2.2. And then Top Pool at 0.76. Wow, so we've got 8 miners. 8 miners. So that's... CoinDance wasn't showing us anything like that at all. Live CoinWatch then. So we've got a market cap of over $4 trillion. And like I said before, when we were looking at the M1 money stock, the M1 money stock, which is the circulating supply of world reserve currency like US dollar, that was just $4 trillion in 2020. $4 trillion. And then obviously the COVID era, it shot up. Look, they printed like $16 trillion in literally a few months. Absolutely insane. I mean, literally, criminality is like beyond a joke. But the cryptocurrency market has now surpassed that. What was the circulating supply of M1 money, the world reserve currency, just 5 years ago? $4 trillion. That is big. That is big. So let's have a look at Gregcoin here. So again, 24-hour trade volume just 1.9. That is not a healthy market at all. Representing just $46 billion. That is nothing. That's literally nothing compared to like Satoshi's holders. Or even Strategy's holders. They've got more than that. Good grief. That wouldn't take many coins at all for the market to change. ETH is almost $4,700 now. So I think that Tether might be going into the market, but are funds coming out of Gregcoin and going into Ethereum because they think it's useful? Who knows? B crash. Let's see what's going on there. Generally, the market looking positive. What's this? Okay, that means that OKX coin. Like, what is that? 149% in a week. Give me a break. They're supporting that because OKX just recently delisted BSV. Bastards. But Bitcoin outside the 100 now. But look, 24-hour trade volume, 5.62%. But again, only $33 million, and we know that there is like $9.6 billion waiting in the wings. And you got Calvin as well. He says, wait till I start buying. Oof. Breakdown then, CoinDCX, so that'll be like $11 million. Huobi, $11 million. Let's just check to see if Upbit has increased. Here we go. I think we'll have a quick look at Huobi just to double check. 24-hour trade volume on Upbit down to $6 million. That was like $21 million the other day when I literally yesterday. And Huobi, so their 24-hour trade volume's gone up to 13 million. Honestly, these figures just change overnight. They don't make sense. Some skullduggery going on there. Let's have a quick look at Orange Gateway here. We'll look at the figures of Bitcoin versus Greg. Hey, $30. $30 on Orange Gateway. Check it out. So the 24-hour high, 29.77. We're above that. So it did touch $30.09. Let's compare that to Gregcoin here. Yeah, look at that. And it looks like it's been trying to break out over Gregcoin. That's fascinating to see. Fascinating to see. Greens coming in. People buying. Oh, it's gone up quite a bit over 24 hours. Up 4.85%. Let's just have a look at the big dog there. 24-hour range, just 1.83%. Bitcoin moved first. We'll take that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Right, we've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history. On the 13th of August 2010, Zitcoin was mentioned on Bitcoin Talk. This is quite funny. So they just said, Zitcoins, a friend asked me a question recently. What if one day someone invents a new electronic currency that is similar to Bitcoin but better in some way? Let's call this new currency Zitcoin for juvenile comic effect. His point was that this would devalue the Bitcoin overnight as everyone moved to the new currency. However, I believe this is completely false. I think that the value of Bitcoin is not just in their engineered properties, it is also through their wide use and acceptance. Therefore, my expectation is that Zitcoin may eventually overtake Bitcoins, but it would take a long time for a Zitcoin to be widely accepted. A good analogy to this is the MP3 audio versus OGG audio. OGG is newer and superior to MP3, yet MP3 is literally everywhere, whereas almost no one uses OGG. Why? Because one of the properties of MP3 is its universal usage. OGG may eventually overtake MP3, but it would take a long time and certainly not be a cut and dry instant process. Thoughts? So again, this is back in 2010, so people didn't really understand the protocol of Bitcoin. They didn't know that data can only be commoditized one way, which means there will only be one digital commodity. So even back then, people didn't really have a clue what it was. But now we know, but I don't know anybody who's talking about it in the way that I'm talking. You cannot commoditize data any other way. It literally, there is no other way to do it. So you're either going to create another coin that's absolutely identical, that's got less hash rate on it, less neutral organic growth, and therefore is not as secure. So you may as well just, people here are looking at the token rather than the actual usefulness of the network. That's the whole point of Bitcoin. You use Bitcoin to access the network, because the network is the only way to ensure that data can't be cracked, hacked, altered, changed, or deleted. And this is why, the cabal have run with the Web3 kind of application, but it's the rails to the new internet is what it is. Yeah. Right, there we go. That is a 28-minute show. We're on the Kelly Schweller countdown. It is now the 13th of August, meaning we've got 36 days left until we hit 0. So you better hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss all the shenanigans that happen between now and then. It's going to be epic. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.